Have you been wondering what in the world can a virtual assistant do for you? Well, in today's episode, I want to talk to you about what literally I do with my virtual assistants. So I've got 5 virtual assistants currently that help me with a multitude of things, kind of primary tasks that most of the virtual assistants do for us. And my goal here for you today is that this video will help you be able to learn what virtual assistants can do for you in your business. And if you need help, of course, you can reach out to us and book a discovery call to learn about what a virtual assistant can specifically do for you in your business. So the very first virtual assistant I ever got, not the one that's currently doing the work, not the actual same person, but the first thing that I let go of was video editing. And so one of my virtual assistants specifically focuses in on videos such as this on YouTube, and they also do our podcast as well, taking the audio from some of our YouTube videos and putting there on our podcast. But they do our video editing, they do the thumbnails, and they do the SEO behind all of our videos. So that's one virtual assistant dedicated to that solely, community engagement. There's a lot of other things that they do, but in a nutshell, that's primarily what they do, is focus in on video editing and making sure that we're posting those videos at the right time, looking at trends to see what people are searching for when it comes to virtual assistants, when it comes to getting help with administrative and project management type tasks. And so that's what their focus is on. The second virtual assistant that I have is very similar, which when I got my first one, kind of combined just doing all the video editing and posting on social media. But now I've got one person specifically posting across our social media platforms. She focuses on scheduling, on creating content, on finding reel ideas. So, reels, short video ideas, as well as carousels. So we are getting into specifically crafting content for each platform, because each platform has its own native communication style and posting style that people tend to like. And so we're really diving into that. And she also spearheads making sure that the content does well as checking in with our video editor over on YouTube, being that team lead for us. So I don't have to focus in on the YouTube side. I can simply just create the content and move on, and she helps out with coming up with some of the strategy. Of course, I'm still involved in a lot of that strategy as well. The third virtual assistant I have, which is actually the newest one, but I decided to put it in this order, really no order of preference by any means, but is our email marketer. So she kind of falls in underneath the team lead for the social media, but she's working hand in hand, of course, on email marketing. So your typical email sequences, your long-term nurture, a hot lead nurture. So we're working through all these things. She's a pretty new hire for us, and this is something that I saw being helpful for us to be able to really bring in leads and be able to close clients. She's also handling our funnels. So how do we get somebody in through that lead magnet, which then goes back to the YouTube side of things, and how do we take this lead magnet that we can actually use on YouTube as a call to action, capture the person's information, and now bring them into a funnel and hopefully get them on a discovery call. And if they don't go from there, then we'll put them in some other kind of email campaign. And so that's her primary role, is focusing in on email strategies as well as text blasts that we can do, and really focused in on that. So that's our third virtual assistant, what she does. Our fourth one, which is probably the craziest one for me, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but she's really transformed into my ops manager, helping me out with really just managing the whole team. So the whole team basically goes to her for basically everything, unless they need something specific on the social media or something that only really I can answer. They really go to her, and I go to her to direct a lot of the team as well. So she's really became my right-hand person, my ops manager, to be able to help take care of the day-to-day activities, so I can focus in on higher level activities such as recording the content like you're watching right now, going to networking events, hopping on sales calls, things like that. I'm able to focus in on that, think of the strategy of where we want to go. She actually helped as well with us breaking into Latin America. I made the decision that, hey, we're gonna break into Latin America. And she started working on that. Same thing with creating an affiliate program. She started to create that. And so we have officially launched that. And there's a link in the show notes, but you can also go right here for that link if you wanna sign up to be an affiliate with us, to be able to hand leads over to us, help your friends get virtual assistants, and you can get a monthly residual income from that. But she's really taken over a lot of things, and one of the other big things that really she initially took off my plate, which she's taken another step in that, is approving the payroll. At first, she just did the payroll, but I've given that to the HR person now, which will go into her in a minute, but now she actually approves that payroll, so I don't even have to approve it anymore. I've given that much away, and that was a big thing. I was really scared at first to have somebody else do that. What would they think? That she wasn't the highest paid at the time, and how was she going to handle that? Was she going to be okay with that? Was she going to go tell people about that? Was she going to put extra hours and not pay attention to how many hours everybody worked? Where was my money going to go? All these things that I was worried about, and she handled it like a professional. And so it was one of those things that I didn't think was really going to be that big a relief, but it really was, where I didn't have to go every other week and go in and figure out, okay, what's everybody getting paid? Now let me get the payments over there and all of that stuff. And now she's actually delegated that to our HR person, and now she just approved of that payroll. So huge thing that I was able to get off my plate. And then finally, our fifth virtual assistant, which is our HR specialist, which actually she took over once I brought Kiara into our ops manager position. So our HR specialist, she handles contracts, she handles recruiting, she handles virtual assistant and client interactions, making sure everything's going good. She's touching base with them. And as I already mentioned, she handles the payroll, and then she also does onboarding and offboarding of virtual assistants and of clients. So we want to make sure that we have a seamless process, and I don't need to be involved in that. That's not something I was good at. Fun fact, whenever I first got started with the business, I literally would just say, hey, these handful of people look pretty decent. They look like they fit the skill set of what you're looking for. And then we would interview together. I mean, that's how bad my process of recruiting was. And then onboarding was like, okay, cool. We'll just kind of work through it and figure it out. I didn't have a whole system or anything in place. And so Kiara and then Rona now has really taken the reins on that to really make sure that our onboarding and offboarding process, as well as recruiting processes, are very seamless and they work very well, and we can get the best of the best for our client. And so I share all of these different roles that I have with virtual assistants, share with you that any virtual assistant can really help your business, that you can really offload anything that you want to. It's just a matter of giving some trust to somebody, giving direction to that person. And as you can see, I've kind of bunched a lot of these things up, but there's things that everyone on this team does a little extra with. I have Kiara do scheduling for me sometimes, my ops manager. Yes, I still kind of treat her a little bit like my executive assistant, where she'll book calls for me, where she'll go and put one-on-ones in for the team where I can meet with them one-on-one. She's still doing some of that. Same thing with our email marketer. She goes in and does some automations for us within Go High Level. Everybody on the team is doing a little extra here and there, but they have their primary role. And so if you're thinking about getting a virtual assistant, just think about the things that are taking up the most time for you and the things that you don't like the most, and really group those together. What could that be? Don't have somebody do your bookkeeping and your video editing. Never gonna work. But they might be able to be your video editor and help post for you on social media. Or maybe they can do some calendar scheduling a little bit, something that's just here and there. You can fill in a lot of that time, but you want to have that core function for you. And so if this video has made you really think about, hey, what can I use a virtual assistant for? Well, go back and watch everything. Here's the list that the list that I have of all the stuff that my virtual assistants do. And by no means do you need to get 5 virtual assistants right now, although we can help you with that. You can just start with figuring out what are those tasks and putting them into buckets. And when you're ready to get a virtual assistant, we can help you with that. And so one thing that we have created to help you be able to understand how to actually delegate is a guide called the Busy Entrepreneur's Guide to Delegation. If you use the link right here, and it's also in the show notes, it's on our website, refinedva.com/the Busy Entrepreneur's Guide to Delegation. You can get your copy today to help you become ready to delegate your next tasks. This guide will guide you through what you need to do in order to figure out what are those tasks that are going to be most valuable for you and give you the biggest return on your investment when it comes to getting a virtual assistant. So download the guide today and see what tasks you can get rid of now.